Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show. We've got a really nice looking Gibson SG today. This was a limited edition model created to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the SG. The SG was first introduced around 1961. Yeah, there are a few from 1960, but 1961 is like that first year. But the first couple of years, SGs were still technically called Les Pauls, and then they switched them to the solid guitar. But as far as this shape and what we know it as today, that is what it is commemorating. This is a very basic SG. It's nothing incredibly special, but it does have a few key identifying characteristics. The most noticeable is instead of a crown on the headstock, you have a different kind of silk-screened crown. You have a different kind of silk-screened golden crown that says 50th anniversary 1961 through 2011. That means, yes, this was made in 2011. The other key identifying characteristic about this guitar is it kind of has that 61 SG body shape. You can see the beveling to the edges is a little bit more extreme, and you've got quite a pointy guitar here. But what's missing? The tenon cover has been replaced by 2 extra frets. So this is a full 2-octave scale SG, meaning 24 frets. Generally, an SG will have 22. It's not impossible to find other 24 fret SGs. An example of that would be like the Zoot Suit series. But other than those 2 main features, these are just very standard SGs. A mahogany body with a mahogany neck and a rosewood fingerboard. Stock from the factory, these will come with 57 classic pickups. However, we do have a replaced bridge pickup in this one. When I was tearing it apart, I saw, Seymour Duncan pickup SH16? I've never seen that before. I mean, I see like SH4, SH6 and whatnot, but 16. What that code stands for is a 59 custom hybrid bridge pickup. Now, what I mean by all that is it has one coil from Seymour Duncan's 59 pickup, and then they have the other coil from the Duncan custom model. So it's kind of a blending of 2 pickups. Now tonally, when I was playing this, the neck pickup is incredibly fat and juicy sounding. I love that for like some bluesy riffs. It works really well. But the bridge is kind of really spanky. I really liked it on clean for like funkier riffs. And I also feel it distorted really well. And the middle position is kind of like that perfect blend between them. I suppose one final topic about this guitar before we hear how it sounds is the neck profile. SGs are generally thought of as having pencil-thin necks that are super tiny. This one, it's not tiny, but I'm not going to call it like a huge 50s neck either. It's just like a really nice rounded profile. It fits in your hand really well. So this is what I would consider personally like a 60s medium rounded. It's not quite got the full depth of a 50s neck profile, but I think a lot of people would find this comfortable. But here's something I'm confused about this model. I think we can all agree if you like SGs, this is a beautiful looking SG. You've got your chrome hardware with the jet black finish. But the 50th anniversary is supposed to be your golden anniversary. But there's no gold on this guitar anywhere except for on the headstock silkscreen. I almost feel like Gibson should have made this an all bullion gold finish, or at least gave it all gold hardware, because you kind of got to play on a theme. So that's something that confuses me a little bit about this model, because this iteration would make more sense for like the 25th anniversary being the silver. So overall, if you are in the market for an SG and you need a full 2-octave neck and you like the idea that this is a limited edition model, I would definitely suggest checking one of these out. Otherwise, if you don't need the fancy headstock and 2 extra frets, you would be just about as well off with any standard SG. So now that we've learned a little bit about the 50th anniversary SG, let's go ahead and hear how it sounds. Now that we know how it sounds, let's go ahead and review its condition. This guitar has been sitting in my to-do pile for about 6 months now. And it's not that I didn't like this guitar, I was actually very impressed by how well it played. It's just I've been so swamped with stuff, guys. But as you can see on the face of the headstock, you've got some light smudges and scratches. Nothing too incredibly bad, but it is definitely a well-used instrument. What I like is that the lacquer is starting to amber a little bit, so the Gibson logo is slightly golden in color, and it's starting to really match that 50th anniversary silkscreen. Your truss rod is perfectly functional. It doesn't look like it's really been used much. You have the original nut yet, and the rosewood fretboard. I just oiled this one last night. It's in great shape now. The frets show hardly anywhere at all. You've got a little bit here and there, but definitely still playable for a very long time. And the inlays also have like a slight golden hint to them. I'm not sure if maybe they did tint these a little bit at the factory in order to make more sense for the 50th anniversary, but I really like the way these inlays look. Now on to the body. Unfortunately, it's black, and black just shows everything. Any polishing, scratch, or light picking swirl, you're gonna see it all on this black finish. Areas to mention are like right here, there's a pretty good sized ding. Up here on the horn, there is another ding. You've got some light wear in the arm resting area, as well as some other dings. So this was definitely a well-used guitar. It wasn't necessarily preserved in any way. Right here was an area of broken finish that showed through to the wood. I touched that up with my black lacquer pen. That way it kind of blended in a little bit more. But you've got scratches on the pick guard. And this humbucker kind of has like a residue or something on top of it. You can see it's starting to age. I tried cleaning that off the best I could. It definitely looks a lot better now, but I still want you to be aware of it. And you have your original Nashville style bridge and Advanced Plating brand tailpiece, which is the original one. Now on to the back of the headstock. Our serial number looks like 1145-1065-0, which makes it a made in 2011 model. The headstock, it seems to be in pretty good shape. I'm not noticing any large nicks or dings out of it, but there is a scratch right here in a very unfortunate location. Now rest assured, it is simply just a scratch. It's not a break, crack, or repair line, but when you're looking online and you see that, you're gonna go, whoa! But no fear, I'll show you it under Blacklight. There's nothing to worry about on that one. Again, this neck is a nice rounded profile. It doesn't really have any major signs of wear, just average handling marks. Back of the guitar, you've got some light buckle marks, nothing too extreme. If we get it in the light just right, you can see that this is a two-piece body. That's not a long crack running down the guitar or anything. That's just the seam line. But you've got scratches and polishing swirls all over, especially right here. The pots appear to be original. One of them has a date written on it, so it's possible it was replaced on that day, or maybe the Gibson factory just wrote it on there. But it is an era-correct Gibson branded pot. There's also some scratches right here from where a strap was on it. Now we'll look around the edges here. You've just got some light wear, again, those few dings, and that one right here that I touched up. And now that I'm going through this, you can see right here on the strap button, there's some more chipped finish. If you would like me to touch that up with that lacquer pen I have, I will gladly do that for you. I would have done it if I would have saw it earlier, but now we'll just leave it up to the new owner of this guitar. Alright, blacklight test here. Here you can see that it has been played. Why this area glows a little bit more than the other areas is simply because of somebody's arm was on here. The sweat kind of absorbed into the finish. And the part that's not glowing right here, that's my touch-up area. And that's why black lights are great. So everything's looking good on the face of the guitar here. Nothing too much to worry about. You've got to always check the heel joint on these SGs. There are no breaks, cracks, or repairs to this one, but you can see like the line where the neck was set into the guitar. The back of the guitar is also glowing the way I would expect to see. Looks like a stand has left a little bit of a rash right here, and then you've got another sweat area where it was kind of rubbing up against someone's body. Take a look around the sides of the guitar. Nothing too major to note besides that touch-up area I did. And now the back of the neck. You can see the neck itself glows a little bit more. And again, that is because of a sweaty guy's hands. I mean, you can see evidence of it pretty much all over this guitar here. But then the headstock, that doesn't get touched as much. Once again, we'll look at that scratch line here. There are no breaks, cracks, or repairs. You would see it where it broke the finish, or it would be clear as day because this would be just completely black, just like that touch-up area. So no worries on this one. The face of the headstock is also glowing the way I would expect to see. This is another place where if the headstock did completely break, where you would see a touch-up. So no issues on this one. Unfortunately, somewhere along the way, this guitar lost its original Gibson case. There was nothing special about those cases, it was just your standard black exterior, white interior. This is an Epiphone case, it's not exactly the same. Basically, the difference between this and a Gibson one is you only have 3 latches on the front here, and the Gibson one would have one on the back. Obviously, your branding's a little bit different, and the exterior isn't as textured. You only have 1 neck rest instead of a double, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with this case. It's just not the original one, but it definitely still protects the guitar pretty well. It's a nice dark gray interior. The fit is pretty good. Up and down, you just have very minimal motion, and left to right is very snug. And if you were watching that other case review a few days ago, this one, it has substantially more foam right here, so it definitely secures the guitar down as well. If you think you might be interested in being the next owner of this beautiful black 50th anniversary SG, feel free to check out the link in the description that will take you to the Reverb for sale ad. Thank you, Troglodytes, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.